The Jets have played in 4 games since acquiring James Robinson from the Jaguars, but last week he was a healthy scratch. He tells ESPN he's pissed off he was inactive. What's the game plan for him moving forward? Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, we're talking a little bit of running back action. This one coming from James Robinson. He tells ESPN he's pissed off that he was inactive for last week's game against the Chicago Bears. Now, let's dive into some of the comments, and then I'll give you some of my analysis and what I think's ultimately going to happen with James Robinson. He tells ESPN that, obviously, I didn't come here not to play. Robinson told ESPN on Wednesday, obviously, they brought me in here for a reason. I don't expect anything unless I work for it. I've been working my ass off. Me not playing pisses me off. He goes on to say, obviously, I was upset about it, and I don't know what they have planned for me. I mean, picking up the runs, that's easy, said Robinson. He had 1,070 rushing yards in 2020 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The thing is getting used to the pass game, protections, and I feel like I've picked that stuff up pretty good. You probably have to ask them, meaning the coaches, what their game plan is for me. I'd do the same, but obviously I'm going to continue to work my ass off. I can't go in there begging. They can see what I can do on the field. So, obviously, the Jets traded a 6th-round pick for James Robinson just after Breece Hall was confirmed to be out with an ACL tear. So, everyone was kind of expecting this guy to come in and be running back 1, running back 2 with Michael Carter, but it just hasn't really come to fruition. And he has 25 carries in his 3 games for the New York Jets, averaging 3 yards per carry. He did have a nice little outing against the Bills, but by and large, 3 yards a carry is really not a great look for the offense. Not to mention, he does have a clause in the trade, not him, but the Jets and the Jaguars have a clause in the trade where if James Robinson rushes for 600 yards this season, that 6th-round pick gets escalated to a 5th-round pick. So there's a little bit more going on here. The Jets may not want to lose that 5th-round pick and may be more willing to lose the 6th-round pick with the emergence of some of our other running backs on the roster here. Now, when I'm looking at it, there's also, a little bit more depth than just that. Obviously, with Corey Davis coming back, they wanted to keep Denzel Mims active, which meant they needed another body on special teams. Bam Knight being that running back who can also play special teams. I think that's part of the reason why they felt comfortable deactivating Robinson. But like I mentioned before, it's that rushing total that's so interesting. And I like what Robinson is bringing to the team. I do think he's better than what he has played or than how he has played so far. Obviously, facing the Patriots twice and the Bills, you're facing some really, really good defenses here. And it's not like the running game was doing well outside of him either. I think at this point, now that you're 3 games through and you're looking at the rest of your running backs, you're probably keeping more of an eye on that draft pick status. And it's a little frustrating for Robinson. I completely understand. He should be pissed off that he's not playing. He by all rights, looks like he should be a guy that should be contributing on this team. And he's in a contract year. He wants to be able to earn some money at the end of the season. The Jets can hit him with a restricted free agent tag at the end of the year if they do choose to do that. But more than likely, they'll probably wind up letting him walk and keeping some of the guys they already have under contract. Now, my thought process here with the games coming up, I think it depends on the health of Michael Carter. Obviously, he's had a lower ankle sprain this past week. He's kind of questionable, I guess, for this upcoming week against the Vikings. So we're kind of keeping an eye on that. If he's healthy and good to go, I would expect it to be Carter, Ty Johnson, and probably Bam Knight again. But let's take a look at the upcoming run defenses for the remaining games we have on our schedule. So obviously the Vikings are 14th in terms of run stopping. Bills are 7th, Lions 30th, Jags 15th, Seahawks 29th, and Dolphins rounding out the schedule at 10th. So right now, as it stands, he would need 185 yards on the ground, which is about 30 yards per game, almost 31 yards per game, through each one of these games to have that 6th-round pick get escalated up to a 5th-round pick. For me, looking at the running backs we have in the running back room, I think they're probably going to try and limit the amount of yards he has right now, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think he's probably going to be inactive for at least 3 of these games, depending on what his rushing total is as we get closer to the end of the year. I think there's also some value to be had with running backs just being abused all the time, and I think the Jets' offense is absolutely catered to running the ball. And when you get into the playoffs, if that's where the Jets do end up going, you're going to need healthy backs and fresh legs going into the playoffs because other teams are going to be beat up and abused. This is an opportunity for the Jets to keep a good running back healthy longer while also only foregoing a 6th-round pick instead of a 5th-round pick because I don't believe the rushing total counts in the postseason. You guys can let me know that if that's actually a fact or not. But if I'm looking at this schedule here, I'm saying I would not play James Robinson against the Lions. I would not play him against the Seahawks. Those are easily the 2 worst teams that will have should have some success. The Jets should be running up the score a little bit. I think I would give him the revenge game against the Jaguars. I think if he does well in that week and he puts up some monster numbers, then I think you shut him down the last 2 weeks. Hopefully he's still below that threshold. Now, against the Bills, had a little bit of success. Tough defense, Dolphins, tough defense. I think they can spin it in a way that they're saying like, oh, look, we're going to play him against the AFC opponents right now. We're going to keep him fresh. We're going to spread everything out. Robert Saleh has said there's a lot of meat on the bones for the running backs. And I agree. I think there's plenty to go around. We're going to run the ball. That's the game plan. You want to try and eat up clock, keep your defense fresh on the other side of the ball. So as much as James Robinson is pissed off right now, I actually like the approach that the Jets are going with. And I think Robinson, I don't know if he understands exactly what the Jets are doing. It's kind of a shitty move because in his mind, he wants to get as many touches as possible so he could try to boost his free agent contract that he's going to get in the offseason. So it's a little bit shady from the Jets. It's a good tactical move from the Jets, but I think it's probably worth sitting Robinson down and saying, hey, look, we're trying to keep you healthy for the playoffs. This is the game plan. At least let him in the know. You don't want to have some bad feelings in the locker room. But by and large, I do think Robinson's going to continue to work hard. It seems like he has the right work ethic here. And I think the team is going to do the right thing when it's all said and done. So guys, let me know if my analysis is right, if it's wrong. Do you think there's another reason why he may not be playing? Let me know in the comments section down below. And as always, go Jets.